It is episode 19 of You Don't Know Ball podcast. Welcome back, everyone. We just finished up a great NFL wildcard weekend. We finished the semifinal games of the college football playoff, and it's on to the divisional round, right? And it's on to the national championship in college, okay? We had Harris on here last time. It's just the duo here as usual joining us. So we're going to be reviewing these divisional matchups, a little preview. We're also going to get into, obviously, the national championship and talk about some other recent topics that just happened in college because we had a lot of interesting transfer portal moves, especially today, coming. So we're going to be deep diving into that. So I'm excited. Hope you guys are excited to listen to. I feel like this podcast has been getting a lot more viewers in the past couple weeks, which is very exciting to see. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. If you have any feedback or if you have any takes that you are dying to hear from us, just let us know in the comments because as we move into the off season, there's definitely going to be a lot more downtime for us to figure out exactly what kind of episodes to bring to you guys. So yeah, why don't we get into the divisional round? So we'll start it. So the first game on the slate, I'm surprised they put the Bills Broncos as the first game. I thought this was for sure going to be the Sunday night because save the best for last because on paper this is the tightest game. The Broncos have actually shifted to favorites now, by the way. The Bills opened up. I feel like they were 1-point favorites. You got the Broncos minus 1.5. This is 4:30 on CBS. So we got our boy Tony Romo on the call for this one. Off the bat, who is catching your eye on this one, Jack?
Like we said, I think we said a similar thing about the Jacksonville game. It makes no sense to pick the Bills in this game, just like it made no sense last week, but I still love them again because you can never bet against Josh Allen. I won't do it unless he's playing Patrick Mahomes, and obviously this year he's had the better end of the stick than Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, this Denver team's awesome. I think this is the best defense alongside Houston right now. I think I think it's all up to Bo Nix. Like, are we gonna get the flat average Bo Nix, or are we gonna get a superstar? And I was a hater at first, but he's had a great season. And I did you see that Sean Payton presser from today?
Which one? No, I did not.
The one of the interviewers or whatever asked him, what do you think about something with the Broncos defense linebackers getting downhill, like talking about a running back? And he's
Mm-hmm.
like what would you know about that? He's like, yeah, you're right, I wouldn't know, I'm not a linebacker. We're like, what? So there's a lot of tension. He's
Yeah.
pissed off about something. I don't know. It seemed like a weird question, but also a weird response. So there's definitely some animosity
Wait.
on the
So
Denver
that
side
that
of
was
things.
that was implied. Like people are speculating that Sean Payton there's a problem with their linebackers, and the reporter maybe was
No,
questioning or
like someone's coming back on Denver, and he's talking about getting him downhill, or
okay,
it was a confusing question. It made no sense, but
okay,
his
yeah. No,
reaction was
I gotta look into
ridiculous.
that
But
after
yeah,
this. Yeah.
yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I'm gonna take Buffalo in this one. I love them as underdogs. I love the value, but it's another weird one. Like, why am I just Josh Allen? Nothing else. Like Shakir's their wide receiver one right now. Brandon Cooks weirdly looks good right now. I know
Yeah.
Matt Collins is still hurt, but like Keon Coleman's still like a non-factor. Like he's cookie boy still, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, it's interesting. I mean, like you said, Josh Allen's the best quarterback remaining in the playoffs right now, right? And you watch him versus Jacksonville. He played at an extremely high level. Some of the throws he made, he put the team on his back in a way without really overdoing it. Like he was taking what the defense gave him, and when he needed to deliver those clutch throws, he needed to put on the cape a little bit. He delivered. So I was very impressed by his performance in that game. I was very impressed by the Bills' defense. You saw some of their veterans like Tre'Davious White step up. He had what 3 pass breakups. I mean, Trevor
Mhm.
Lawrence had his moments, but he also made those mistakes that really were costly. And I think that's more of a testament to how good the Bills defense really was in this game. I mean, they do have the number 1 pass defense in the league. I think it's really. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is the number 1 ranked pass defense.
Yeah,
Their
weirdly
other
enough.
defense, yeah, like their pass rush has struggled. Sometimes like their run defense is okay, but their pass defense is very good, and it really showed on display. So when you said that this game's going to come down to Bo Nix, I kind of disagree in a sense because I think when you look at how this Broncos team is built, right? I think they're built off the run game, and they got 2 speedy backs, right? You saw Travis Etienne gash them on the outside runs last week, and I think that the Broncos are going to take advantage of that too. I think you'll see them lean on the run game heavy. They got to be consistent with it, and that's when that's going to open up a lot for Bo Nix, right? To hit his receivers. If you watch the playoff
Hmm.
game last year. Bo Nix played very well. Bo Nix played Bo Nix played well enough to win that game, but his receivers had what, like threes drops. Okay, the run game was not there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you saw Bo Nix hit that absolute what was it, like 50-yard bomb to Troy Franklin to start the game. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
I love
Bronc
him.
yeah, dude, Broncos might actually have a shot in this one, and then obviously they got stagnant, and but it's a completely different team in a way where it's better. I think it's favored the Broncos. Their defense is much more sound, much more clicking. Bo Nix is now seasoned, and you could say Bo Nix is the clutchest quarterback in the NFL right now. I know Caleb Williams is up there, but Bo Nix leads the NFL in game-winning drives with 7. Okay, he can look as atrocious as possible the first 3 quarters, but when it comes down to the fourth quarter, this team knows how to finish. This team knows how to get it done, and I just think that you just say Josh Allen. Okay, that's why you're back in the Bills. I just think that there's so much pressure on Josh right now. There's so much pressure on him to get it done because Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, they're not in the playoffs. I think the Broncos use that to their advantage. I think that when you go into Mile High, this is the toughest environment remaining in the playoffs. Going up to Mile High Stadium with a high altitude, that crowd is going to be buzzing. You are not going to get a more tough matchup. Cool. You got a dub in Jacksonville. I don't even think they have fans. Okay, bro, that's not that tough an environment. It is night and day of what he's going to get a Mile High. I think the Broncos have the clear advantage in this one, being on the top of the having a week off for resting up. I gotta back the Broncos in this one. I think that their defense just gets after them. I think that they're much more sound in coverage, so that these Brandon Cooks aren't going to break open on busted coverages for 40 yards. So
Yeah.
I like the Broncos in this.
It's going to be interesting to see how the NFL teams do off the bye. I know we saw a lot in college football. These teams off the bye looked rusty rather than rested. So it's
Yeah,
really going to be interesting to see. I don't know with college football, was it 2-8? Like I think
yeah,
like Texas Tech got blown out by Oregon off the bye. I think Indiana's the only team that did well off the bye.
yeah. No, it was Indiana.
Maybe
Indiana
there
was the
was
only one.
another. I think there was another win, but I don't know if it was pretty.
Yeah.
I know Ohio State lost to Miami off the bye.
Mhm,
Who was the three? Georgia lost off the bye to Ole Miss, so it's
mhm.
going to be interesting to see how it translates in the NFL. Usually they play much better off the bye, but we will
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I'm also like, so I hear a lot of people talking, are the Broncos fraudulent? First of all, you don't get the number 1 seed just by consistently getting lucky. Okay, I don't think they're fraudulent at all, but I will admit they're stretched down the late season. So they finished the season on a 5. The Broncos finished the season on a 5-1, right? Dude, I'm stuttering on my words. The Broncos finished the season on a 5-1 run, right? And here are the quarterbacks and running backs they faced down the stretch. Okay, they faced Marcus Mariota and Jacob Rodriguez. They faced Geno Smith and Ashton Genty, Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, Chris Oladokin and Isaiah Pacheco, and Trey Lance and Patterson as the running backs. Those are not very intriguing, not very
No.
threatful offenses. So I can see why some people will question if they are that good, like we hype them up to be. But you can't blame a team for playing the opponents they face, right? They got the job done in those games. Their defense has consistently been a strong threat. So I think that's all just eyewash in a sense. I think it's all eyewash. So anyone that's saying they're frauds, I just don't buy into that because they are getting the job done. And even before they went on this kind of bottom tier stretch, they were getting a job done. So I
Hmm.
wouldn't buy into that whole narrative.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Denver, they've got their hands full,
yeah,
definitely. But
yeah,
playing at Mile High is no joke.
that's
It
what I'm
really
saying.
is. It really is no joke. I'm excited to see how Bo Nix works off of the play action,
Yeah,
especially.
yeah, that'll be key. So yeah, it'll be a fun one. Definitely one of you can argue it's probably the best game on the slate, like I said. So
Hmm.
moving into Saturday night, we got the 49ers Seahawks. Seahawks are a ginormous favorite, -7 points. That's the largest in the divisional round. These two teams faced off in Week 18, where it was a final score of the 13-3. It's kind of an underwhelming performance, Seattle. I mean, it was a tight game up until the fourth quarter, but when you look back at it, Seattle kind of dominated on defense most of the way. Sam Darnold just didn't capitalize on some of the opportunities in the red zone. Like, I think back to that first opening drive, he had Charbonnet wide open for the touchdown, but they ended up turning it over on downs because he couldn't hit it. I think that game could have gotten out of hand if they just made a couple of those key offensive plays. And plus, the 49ers were at home at this one. It was week 18. This is the playoffs now. Okay, you're in Seattle's house. I think on paper, with all the injuries that the 49ers have dealt with, I know we said it last week versus the Eagles. The Eagles weren't Eagles turned out that they were the regular season Eagles. Okay, they weren't that good. I thought they would show up with better experience, but they didn't. So, dude, this is a whole different game. And Seattle's also returning Charles Cross in the O line. They're also returning Kobe Bryant at safety. It's a totally different situation, and I just don't see how the 49ers keep this game competitive in a sense. I know it's division. I know it's a division matchup, but like, dude, there's nothing that really sticks out to me that there's nothing that gets me confident that Brock Purdy is going to go into Seattle and move the ball with this offense that doesn't even have George Kittle anymore. Like, I think they got all the bags out of
Hmm.
their tricks against Philadelphia, and now it's like, all right, what do we do now? I know they're well coached, but like, you're limited in what you can do. I mean, Christian McCaffrey can only do so much.
I think he might get 35 touches, by the way,
He
in
probably
this
should.
game.
Yeah,
Right? They're going to empty the tank here. I think it's going to take a Kyle Shanahan masterpiece to even keep this game close.
yeah,
Like they're losing Kittle on this
yeah,
depleted, they have a depleted defense. I don't think there's a world where this game is close. I think Seattle blows them out,
mm,
unfortunately, because I love Kyle Shanahan. I think the
mm,
Niners are a great team, and I think they were dealt with the tough hand cards. But
yeah,
I will say I don't like Sam Darnold in any big game. I don't know how big this game really is for them because of their defense is better. They're like every part of their team is better than the Niners right now because they're so depleted.
yeah,
But I think in the next round, the winner of Buffalo Denver, I think I'll take them over Seattle.
yeah,
I think
dude.
that's when the moment is too big for Sam. I think he takes care of business right now, and I think he crumbles in the NFC. What would that be? The NFC Championship? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, dude, when you look at Darnold, I do not trust Darnold either at all.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, going up against this depleted Niners team, it should be very easy on him. He's not going to be thrown into a lot of tough situations. He's got the playmakers around him. Like, oh, dude, just throw it up to JSN. He literally comes down. You
Right.
can argue he's a top three receiver right now, and
They sleep
especially
on
with Shaheed.
Shaheed too. Yeah,
Shaheed,
man.
that like I'm saying, dude, his straight line
Good
speed
player.
is there. Like if you just get the ball in his hands, they're doing a lot of jet sweeps with him, a lot of just short screens, getting the ball in space. They're doing a lot of that. Their tight ends are very good, and obviously the run game. Okay, their run game has averaged over 170 yards on the ground in their 3 game stretch at the end of the year. With Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, those are two dynamic backs. Not a lot of other teams have a duo like that in the league, and that's what Seattle really leans on. And I think they're going to lean on that again in this Niners game. They're going to get Salah's defense aggressive too in that aspect when they go
Hmm.
to the run a lot. And that's going to open up over the top. It's going to open up those big shots downfield to JSN, and that's where Darnold has had success because when things are easy on Darnold and you can run the ball, that's when he's very effective. But when things start to crumble a little bit, when you're not running the ball as well, when the pressure's getting to him, that's where we see him make mistakes. And I don't think those mistakes are going to come in Niners. But like you said, even in the NFC Championship game, though, because if he faces the Bears defense has no pass rush. The Bears defense is very, very iffy. I think Darnold succeeds against
You're
them.
cutting
And
out.
okay, now can you not hear? Am I good now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, you just cut out. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I think when you look at the Darnold, and even if he wins this game, he goes on to the NFC Championship, right? If he faces the Bears, dude, the Bears have no pass rush. The Bears defense is very shaky. I think he succeeds against them. And even the divisional rival Rams, the Rams Achilles heel is like we're going to talk about in a little bit,
Hmm.
is their secondary. So Darnold's path to the Super Bowl is extremely easy. Okay, he doesn't face a top like if he was in the AFC right now, I think he gets bounced the first game because the way they got the top defenses in the league pretty much. So I think his
Hmm.
path to the Super Bowl is very, very soft. I shouldn't say soft, maybe that's not the right word, but it's very easy. And so I think he does get it done in a sense. The Seahawks should ultimately be the favorites. I mean, they are the favorites, but they low key do have a cakewalk to the Super Bowl. It's that Super Bowl matchup where I would start to question Darnold's ability to play on the biggest stage. And it's funny too because he does have this cakewalk to the Super Bowl. Everyone's just gonna hype him up so much, like he's this top quarterback, but dude, we've seen him fold in crunch time against those good defenses. So I don't know how much you can really. I mean, you got to give him credit, but like I don't know how much you can. He's not the MVP of the Seahawks, not even close. There's probably 4 or 5 other guys on this team
Hmm.
that are more valuable to the Seahawks roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm talking about San Francisco's defense. How about Robert Saleh? Like, what a great defensive coordinator he is.
yeah,
I saw this on Jets News. Shout out Jets underscore news.
yeah,
But Saleh's plan was to keep Darnold, trade down, and draft Devontae Smith before he was fired. Like, imagine that Jets team with that. Like, I'm a Jets fan. I
yeah,
couldn't imagine like that. it just makes me sad, but that's a crazy thing to hear.
Yeah,
It's insane. He wasn't a great head coach, but he's a great DC for San Fran.
yeah, yeah. I
Hmm.
agree. Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit, but like, so you're saying Salah wanted to trade down for Darnold? Is that what you
Yeah,
just said?
his plan
Okay,
when he was fired, well, before he was fired, was to keep Darnold and trade down for Devontae Smith,
okay.
which would have
Yeah,
been
dude.
fucking sick.
Yeah, I
Garrett
mean that would.
Wilson, that's sick.
Yeah, that would be sick having Devontae Smith on that. I mean, dude, coming out of college, a little off topic, but Devontae Smith was,
Oh
I think
my
he paid
God.
off. I mean, he would be a number one on most teams right now. And I think if the Eagles did have any sort of controversy releasing AJ Brown, I mean, he fits
Which
right
could
in as a number
happen.
one. Yeah,
I
very
think they
well.
could trade him. Very well could trade him.
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
the problem
Devontae.
with what's the problem with the Eagles right now? Is it Hurts? Is it Patullo? Is it Sirianni? Like my personal opinion, I think Jalen Hurts is a system quarterback that plays very well in a system, but I don't think Sirianni creates that system. He's a glorified cheerleader. Like
Yeah,
this guy is just offensive coordinator dependent. Like he needs a good OC, and if he doesn't have that, Kellen Moore, you see what happens, and it's ridiculous. So it's like you get rid of him, you get rid of Sirianni. I think the Eagles are way more successful. I know it's obviously a lot riskier, but I think
yeah.
long term success that you have to move on from Sirianni.
I don't think I think it's insane to say to move on to Sirianni, bro. I mean, dude, he took him to the Super Bowl twice. He's had a lot of
Dude,
playoff
his
wins until.
OCs, bro, all OCs.
Is it though? Like, I just think I think this year was more a testament because the Super Bowl hangover is a real thing in my opinion, and it's
Hmm.
so hard to repeat in this league. And for the Eagles to have success like they did this year, I know their offense was complete shit show, but like they did win a lot of games. They did win a lot of games. They got home. They got a home game in the playoff. Came up short against the Niners. Got embarrassed in a sense, but they were in a position to win every single game this year. There was never a true moment where it's like, okay, this team is bad. They were never bad. They were always competitive. And dude, coming off Super Bowl, dude, it's a dot like they just won the championship. They just won the
Hmm.
championship. I think that did you see that clip by the way with Jalen Hurts and Sirianni sitting in the were the Eagles on Hard Knocks by the way, or was that a Eagles just own
I don't
video?
think they were. I think that was their own, but I'm not totally sure.
Okay, but yeah, no, you saw. I am fully confident they're going to be back. I mean, they're a playoff team. I mean, as long as Jalen Hurts is there on the team and they have that elite defense, that core, they're a playoff team every year. They'll be back next year. There's no doubt in my mind.
I have
Um,
another question for you. What does that say about coaches that don't play calls? Like
that don't play
what
that don't play
that
calls
don't call
call plays.
that don't call plays, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, look at D'Amico Ryans on the Texans. He doesn't call
Yeah.
plays. He relies heavily on his offense coordinator, and they're a good team. So it kind of
Hmm.
just depends on. Yeah, I mean, offensive coordinator. If you have a good offensive coordinator, you don't need to call plays. And you look at someone like Dan Campbell
Hmm.
this year, who hired John Morton. He was calling plays. He sucked. Dan Campbell took over. So I feel like in Dan Campbell's situation, he took over. He took the leadership and the ownership of all right. I'm going to take control in my hands. Yeah, that's a good thing in theory, but like Nick Sirianni is hiring these guys to take over that role. Okay, it's not necessarily Nick Sirianni's job to call plays. It's his job to hire the right person to do call plays. So I don't think Sirianni should be back in there calling plays because he's probably not he's not as good as these offensive coordinators. That's what you got an offensive coordinator for. So I think firing Kevin Patullo was a great, obviously the great move is much needed. Sirianni just has to get that hire right, whether it's
Hmm.
Sirianni or it's their GM. Like they just got to get the hire right. I don't think that you just I wouldn't really be upset that Sirianni is not calling plays because maybe that's just not his. That's not what he's known for. He's like that
Yeah,
as a
it's not what
role
he
as a head
does.
coach.
Like he can
Hmm.
run practice, get the vibes up, but that's not his thing on
Yeah,
the field. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I look at it that way. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was
What do we
good. Good
got
little birds
next?
talk. So yeah, why don't we
Yeah, we got
move into the next game? We got
Houston
yeah,
Pats.
yeah,
I
Houston
like that.
Pats.
Dude, I saw wild card posted all over Houston. I got to take the opposite side. I love
Okay.
Drake May. I love this defense specifically, and I think this Houston offense looked terrible. You saw CJ Stroud turn the ball over four times. Four
Three
times.
times.
Like that doesn't fly against a team like New England. I don't think it does. So,
Dude, I think that's completely overblown. One, I think that you can argue the Steelers pass rush in front is better than New England's. I mean, they are. And dude, even outside of those turnovers that CJ shot, outside of the interception, the two fumbles are so fixable. Okay, they looked like just very sloppy, like he didn't catch the snap. But even with his turnovers, I never saw him really lose composure. I never saw him look mentally out of it because you watch him throw the ball that game. He threw the ball very well. He was 7 for 8 on third downs. Okay, and he
Hmm.
was really effective against the blitz. You saw him be clutch at those moments. Yes, the turnovers need to be cleaned up, but outside of that, dude, they were moving the ball with ease. They were moving the ball
Hmm.
just fine. Like you saw Christian Kirk absolutely turn it up. And I know Nico Collins went down. He's in concussion protocol. He probably won't play this week. But I wouldn't be too worried about that because one, if you look at CJ Stroud's best statistical game this week, or if you look at his best statistical game this year, it was against the 49ers in week 8. And guess what? Nico Collins didn't play that game. They got weapons around
Hmm.
him. They got Dalton Schultz to hit. The Iowa State guys are up. Dude, Xavier Hutchinson, Stroud will be just fine. Obviously, Nico Collins, you want him. He's your best receiver. You need him. Or you don't need him, I would say. You want him, but you don't absolutely need him. I'm not worried without him. But we're back. Sorry, guys. We had some technical difficulties with this Verizon outage, I think, is bothering. So if anyone's affected by that, we just got hit by it. So we were talking about the Texans, and the run game was surprisingly very good against the Steelers. Woody Marks had a 100-yard game. Very like the Steelers' run defense is pretty legit, right? It's not like this easy team to run the ball on, and to see the Texans do what they did, very promising because the Patriots' run defense is iffy. You saw the Chargers have a little bit of success even with some of the back, like you saw even with Amari and Hampton out, they had a little bit of success, and so I think that they can carry that momentum over into this game, take the pressure a little bit off Stroud, and everything's going to be easy. But I think when you look at this game on paper, it should be a very low scoring matchup, right? Just like the Steelers game. I think this is probably a 17-13 game. If I had to get it's not going to be a barn burner. Like it's going to be a defensive battle. And in these defensive battles, I just trust the quarterback that has more playoff experience. I trust rolling with the quarterback that has 3 playoff wins and has done this for 3 years over Drake May. I know Drake May has had a great season, but people got to stop sleeping on CJ Stroud just because he had one bad game versus Steelers. He's proved it at a high level. He's proved it on the road. This is a quarterback that I want on my team.
Yeah, I mean the thing with CJ, his lows are low. His lows are very low, and we saw that the other day. We also saw his playoff game. I don't know if it was last year, 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. His rookie season looked great. So
Mhm.
like he's shown flashes that have possibilities of beating Drake May, the MVP, and the Patriots, but I don't think he gets it done now. I will credit the run game looked fantastic. I think
Mhm.
Woody had 18-ish carries for 100 yards, but he gets hurt every game. Woody
Mhm.
Marks goes down every single game, and honestly, Nick Chubb looked great too. He averaged 5 yards a carry against the Steelers last week. So I think when they got that going, it was great for them.
Yeah.
I know I called that game. I didn't think the Steelers had any chance in that game.
No.
But
No.
I think New England's a totally different team. I'll take them. I agree though with you. I
Are
think
we gonna act like
17-13 the other way.
Drake May didn't lose 2 fumbles last week though? Like this dude has the same
No,
amount of ball security
you know,
concerns than CJ Stroud. More, in my opinion.
the thing I was worried about with CJ Stroud was the miscommunications. Like they were mental errors between him and his center. Like you saw even some of plays where he didn't fumble or he recovered the fumble and made a play, he'd be looking at the coach, the ball would hit him in the chest. He was dropping snaps. They were out of whack the entire game and still blew the Steelers team out.
Yeah.
And I think
And
that
yeah.
also goes to show like the Steelers were not ready for that game.
Steelers were not ready, but the Texans are just that good in a sense.
No,
Like
yeah, no, it also shows you how good the Texans are. They can play that poor of football and win by 24 points.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be a great game nonetheless. I'm surprised. I think the spread I would have guessed would be a little tighter. I
Yeah.
know this game's in New England and it's not
Hmm.
hard, it's not easy to play. They'll probably get some snow, but
Yeah.
it should be a great game. I think that
I
game's like
think
15 degrees.
Yeah, I think they're
But
basing it off of running the ball, right? I mean, Patriots
yeah,
do have the better running team, but like we said, we saw the success from the Texans
Woody
in the
looked
run game
great.
last week. So I think they
Yeah,
keep
man.
rolling. I think they keep rolling. Yeah, I'm rolling with the Texans on that one. Should be cool.
All right. Yeah, moving
Let's
on to
the
LA,
game.
Chicago. This is
Let's
my
move.
favorite game by
Yeah,
far.
yeah,
Like, and I'm
100%.
gonna I'm gonna back the Bears again.
You
Like,
are
let me tell you this Matthew Stafford stat. His
okay.
last 10 games outdoors, not in a dome, in the rain or snow. 1-9, 16 touchdowns, 11 picks. Rams last 10 games in Chicago, they're 2-8 with a negative 109-point differential. And the forecast on Sunday in Chicago, 20 degrees, 18-mile-an-hour gusts, 55% chance of snow. I think there's no way the Rams are in this game. I think
Fair weather.
they're it's bear weather, cardiac bears. Wouldn't surprise me if the Rams are up in the fourth quarter the entire time until the end.
Mm.
Bears win it.
Yeah,
Let's
I mean,
go. Bears
I
win it.
I would 100% agree with the cold weather narrative still stands very true. You do think back to the Eagles in the divisional round last year and when it was completely snowing everywhere and the Rams did play it down to the wire, so I will give them credit there. But
Mm-hmm.
it's still a West Coast team going to the Midwest playing in the freezing cold, and that absolutely sucks if you're from California. And the Bears are more built for that in that aspect, so they have the advantage there. The problem with the Bears I see, I'm on the Bears by the way. I love what I see from the Bears. I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate for you because for both on the Bears, which is not a little
Mm-hmm.
not as fun. So a little the thing that I can see with the Bears and where they might have find issues because their pass rush is gone, right? If you give Matthew Stafford clean pockets, he's the MVP for a reason. He's gonna dice apart. I've seen people claim that they're gonna hang 50 points on the Bears defense. I can't necessarily say that's entirely false because this one of the most dynamic offenses. If they click on offense with their two receivers, with their running backs, this it's one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in the league. And going up against this Bears defense that has holes, this Packers team absolutely moved up and down the field for the first two quarters. They dropped what 21 points.
Yeah.
The Rams can absolutely exploit that. So the Bears gotta be ready from the jump. I thought the defensive adjustments that they made in the second half were perfect by Dennis Allen. Okay, they started generating more pressure by using some of the corner blitzes with like Jalen Johnson was sending on some blitzes. Jaquan Brisker was moving down, so I love to see that. They were doing a lot of stuff to very like move. They were rotating a lot of coverages to confuse Jordan Love, and they need to keep that up because if you just make it super predictable and easy on Stafford, it's going to be game over. Okay, you need to keep that same intensity, and I think they will. But flipping sides, okay, everyone's saying that this Rams offense is going to absolutely demolish them. What's saying that the Bears aren't going to do the same, right? Because like we just mentioned earlier in the podcast, their Achilles heel for the Rams is their secondary. Quentin Lake coming back last week, I thought it would be some sort of spark. Didn't do much because the Panthers still gashed them. Okay, if the Bears can easily put up 28, 31 points, especially with Caleb Williams' ability to get off script. I mean, the receivers are going to get open. And I just love the Bears can look so bad for the first two, 3 quarters, and somehow they just come out and just pull out these insane stuff, pull out these insane plays. Caleb Williams makes these crazy throws and they get the job done. And even if the Bears find themselves down once again, you can never count them out. But I would expect them to get to a little better start in this one. Okay, not necessarily play from behind all the time. I think we're going to see a tighter game, especially with the cold weather. And I think that the Bears,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes down to crunch time, down to the wire, I would honestly rather have the ball in Caleb Williams' hands than Stafford.
Wow. There you go. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Stafford's up there, but I think outside of Mahomes and Allen, Caleb's there. Caleb's right in that
You
class.
can't, yeah,
He proved
exactly.
it.
You
He's
can't say
right
he's
in that
not.
tier
You
of
can't say he's not.
he's in that tier of arm talent, athleticism. And
Mhm.
I don't think a 38-year-old Stafford has that same ability that
Yeah.
Caleb does right now. Like he is raw, he might be more prone to turnovers. I know Stafford had whatever 3 turnovers against Seattle the other
Mhm.
week, but I think that was once in a blue moon. I think he takes care of the football way more. I think the Bears are the Bears. They're the high ceiling, low floor. Like they could blow up or they could be magical, and I think they're going to be magical.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask too, I was actually talking to my dad earlier about this. And do you think I think Caleb Williams opens up next year top five in MVP odds?
Oh yeah,
100%,
yeah. I
right?
think he is five. I think he is five next
Is
year.
he? Yeah, because
They might give Lamar like odds or something.
maybe
Or
even top three. Because
yeah, no, you
he
can
was
make the
top five towards
argument.
the latter half, right? Like
You can make that argument. Yeah,
he's a good bet. I'm not gonna lie because I'm interested to see what the Bears actually do this offseason to see if they I mean they'll probably be focusing more on defense, right?
hmm
Um, but dude,
Yeah,
with
dude, they have
another
so
year on
many
his belt,
weapons
yeah,
on offense. Like that right now, his weapons right now is who's he gonna have? Like Luther Burn, they're just gonna develop him.
yeah.
They're gonna develop Rome. I think they could possibly trade DJ for
He just
I
signed a
don't think
contract last year though.
Did he? Yeah, I guess they've
Yeah.
got a lot of, yeah,
Loveland is
but
who
we'll
is
see.
dude. The thing about how about Colson Loveland? Because when the
Komet
Bears drafted him,
too.
everyone was like, "What the? Why are we drafting another tight end? We
Uh,
have Komet." First couple games of the season, he wasn't getting used at all, and everyone's like, "Dude, he's such a waste of a pick." Dude, these last couple games, he's been absolute key to their success.
well,
Key
we
to their
know we
success
were
against the
we were
Packers.
watching preseason. He looked great in the preseason, so we thought
Hmm.
he'd be like a day one, every like five target guy, seven target guy, and kind of wasn't that role, and then developed into that role, and now he's just killing it.
Yeah, no, I love to see that. That was a great pick. He's really turning out well. And you got to give credit to Ryan Poles. I mean, Ryan Poles was a little bit on the hot seat like 2 years
Hmm.
ago after Justin Fields didn't do well and he was juggling coaches. Like he was a little bit, but the roster that he's constructed right now to get them in the divisional game, you got to give him a lot of credit. He's done his job, and the
Hmm.
Bears are in a position to go to the NFC Championship. I can't believe we would be saying this in year two of Caleb Williams, but here we are. Do you
Crazy,
think? Do
crazy.
you think this Bears team compares a lot to last year's Commanders?
Yes, yes, I do think so. Very frisky, very questionable defense, but electric quarterback, weapons, fun team. But I think the culture around the Bears tradition and the Bears fan base makes this story so much more magical. It's
Yeah,
like no discredit to Washington and what they've got going on, but I just think Chicago's such a special city, and I think I don't know, I love for some reason this is giving me a better feeling. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it right now. I think Caleb has more weapons on offense as well, and I think their defense is a little better than the Commanders was last season, especially this season. But yeah,
yeah.
very similar because Jaden Daniels at his peak, and I think we're going to see a healthier Jaden Daniels next year. I think we buy Daniels stock right now. He's rock bottom. But I
I
think
would
at their
so disagree
peaks,
with that.
really,
I think Jaden Daniels is we've
he's
seen,
so good.
but like here's the problem. So Cliff Kingsbury left, right? And the reason that Cliff
Hmm.
Kingsbury left is because him and Dan Quinn had some arguments on how they wanted to run an offense. Dan Quinn wanted a more pro style offense that gets Jaden Daniels into a more drop back passing role. And that's what they're going to move forward with because that's why he got rid of Kingsbury. I just don't see Jaden Daniels succeeding as well in a drop back typical pro style offense compared to Cliff Kingsbury's more college scheme, a little more air raid, a little more getting out using his legs because that's what they want. They don't want Jaden Daniels to take as many hits. And I still have questions over Jaden Daniels' accuracy. I really do. I don't think that he's a guy that delivers the football over the middle very well. I just don't think that he can fit it in his tight windows like a lot of these other quarterbacks. Like a lot of their the year one run. That's why I compared them to the Bears this year. And one could say that the Bears have gotten extremely lucky with their comeback wins. Especially with like the onside kick versus the Packers and
Hmm.
some of the like the Bengals game, how the Bengals blew coverage. You can say that. I would say it's more on Caleb Williams being clutch. I'm not going to say that, but like you look at the Commanders last year, their run was based on like some missed field goals, fumbles by the other team,
Hmm.
very late game fluky stuff. And it's like that could have easily been a 7-win team, but then they somehow just pulled it together, got to the NFC Championship and got smoked. So I'm not completely bought into the Jaden Daniels hype. I think that he could be good, but next year is going to be so telling on the actual quarterback that he is, and if he could succeed as a more drop back passer, we're going to find out, and I'm very intrigued to see that if he can be that
Hmm.
guy. So
I agree. Yeah, yeah. I just think the flashes we saw so early on in his career, it's just like it just shows you like this is who I am, this is who I can be.
yeah,
And
he's a winner. He's a
now he's
winner for
hurt.
sure.
Like I think he's so talented, but
Yeah,
we'll see what
yeah, we'll
happens.
see.
I hope it works out for him because injuries suck. Like
Yeah.
they're the worst. But
Speaking about injuries, dude, going back to the 49ers, George Kittle is like George Kittle just got hurt. Very unfortunate to see, but he's this highly touted player for the Niners, right? He has been for plenty of years. The dude's always hurt, always hurt.
hmm
Has he ever had a fully healthy season? So it's like we
not
talk about your
yeah.
best ability is your availability. Dude, George Kittle is just like he's not always there for the 49ers, and I think that really does hurt this team, and it has hurt this team a lot in the past. So I just wanted to bring that up,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
always in the
sucks to
biggest
see, but like
spots too. It's always in
yeah,
the
yeah.
biggest spots, and not that a Kittle on this team like saves them. Like maybe, like how much weight do you think he has on a spread? Like, is it -6 instead of -7 if he's playing?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's
maybe
probably
if
like
even.
maybe a point for lucky.
Yeah,
Um,
but let's say this defense was at their peak, maybe like mid-season form.
if
Like
the
that's a big
49ers were
blow.
full, if the 49ers were fully healthy, they would be Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah,
100%.
and then losing Kittle is like more. I guess you would argue it's bigger now to lose Kittle because he's their only chance to really
Yeah. Yeah.
possibly win. But I
Yeah.
still think with him, I don't know if I don't know if they make it out of
Yeah.
Seattle, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Some fun
it's
NFL.
fun
I mean,
ones.
if you want to finish up a little bit with some college talk, we
First,
can
let's
go
do a
ahead and
little
do that.
bracket. Let's do a
Okay.
little bracket. So we got out of the AFC, it's Buffalo, Denver. Winner plays Houston, New England. What do you like there? AFC Championship.
Yeah, so I got Denver and I got Houston in the AFC Championship.
I've got the other two. That's
You
fun.
do. You got
Yeah,
Buffalo,
I've
New
got
England. Okay.
I got Buffalo, New England. I saw
Who do you
it.
got going to the Super Bowl for them?
And then I got New England. No, I got Buffalo beating New England.
Yeah.
I'm going Buffalo all the way.
Okay.
I think they start a magic run. But then who do you got? San Fran versus Seattle, and then LA, Chicago.
Yeah, so I got Chicago beating the Rams this week, and I also got
Mm-hmm.
Seattle. So I think it's going to be Seahawks versus the Bears in the NFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just be a homer, right, and pick the Bears. I mean, the Seahawks are
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to be 6, 7 point favorite in
Yeah.
the NFC Championship. So I think you got to pick the Seahawks. I think you
Yeah.
got to pick the Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl. And going back to the AFC, I had Denver and I have Houston. I think Houston pulls it out, dude. I think Houston gets revenge on them
Wow.
from regular season. I think they go to the Super Bowl. CJ Stroud year
Wow.
3. Their defense is just too good. Defense wins
Yeah.
championships. We're gonna have the
Yeah, no.
Seahawks Texans in the Super Bowl.
And then I think at that point you got Nico Collins back. So
Yeah, exactly.
that'll be
I'm
interesting. Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
saw we saw that matchup earlier, right? And that's when the Texans offensive line was pretty ass. I mean, CJ Stroud
Mm-hmm.
got sacked a gazillion times.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think a second time around, I think that it will be interesting to see. I think that what like we mentioned, Darnold under pressure, can he handle that
Right?
Texans
The big
front?
moment.
Dude, I mean, the Texans Super Bowl is realistic, very
Mm-hmm.
realistic in my opinion. So
Now's the time, dude. No
yeah.
Mahomes, no Burrow,
Yeah.
no
Dude, if CJ
Lamar.
Stroud wins the Super Bowl, that changes the entire
Everything.
narrative. Like, what does that say about this quarterback?
Everything.
He's made it in the playoffs every single year he's in the league, and now he's got a Super Bowl under his belt, 5 playoff wins.
Dude, in
Dude, he started
Houston, like
in
the
yeah,
Texans,
with
like
the
what does it say about them as an organization? It's crazy.
like we have to start talking about CJ Stroud up with Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Burrow. We like if he wins the Super
Mm,
Bowl this year, you can't
mm,
not. You can't not.
mhm.
Like you would put him over Jalen Hurts in the QB rankings if
You'd
he won the
have to
Super
put him
Bowl.
over. You have to put him over Herbert.
Have to. I mean, he
Have
beat
to.
Herbert
I
in the
don't think you
playoffs. Like,
have to yet. I don't think you have to yet, though.
no. And people
But
will
if
say,
he
"Oh,
wins the Super Bowl,
the defense carried." People will say that. Yeah, the defense is very good, but like I said, dude, CJ Stroud makes some clutch throws and he delivers well. So I'm
yeah.
kind of glazing CJ Stroud all podcast right now, but I think he's being slept on, man. I think he's really being
Okay.
slept on. So
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this up with we got college football championship in Coral Gables, and I want to talk about the Oregon situation as well.
yeah.
What do you want to start with?
Let's just go natty picks. So obviously Indiana is an 8.5 point favorite. I've been rolling against
In
Indiana
Coral
all
Gables.
in Coral Gables. I'm gonna pick Indiana to win this one. I'm switching
Yeah.
up, so this is probably gonna be the time where Miami covers and keeps it close. So I'm sorry, Hoosiers fans, but you got to go with Indiana. I mean, they literally. I've made some videos on how they seem like they're cheating. I don't actually think they're cheating, but they're so good that it looks like they're cheating because they know every play. They know every play that's coming. Everything they run, it looks like they're running out of air. This team is the absolute cheat code because the way that they're coached, the way that they're prepared for everything. And dude, Miami's offense is still like iffy. Okay, I think that
I don't
Indiana's
trust them
defense is going
yet.
to take it to them. And even with
Hmm.
Miami's pass front is very good, but like, dude, I you got to trust Ignetti's going to scheme some stuff up to get the ball out of Mendoza's hands and just pick them apart. So yeah, I'm rolling Indiana.
Yeah. I think we sleep on how well coached this team is. This team doesn't make mental errors. Like this
Hmm.
Indiana team's gonna roll over and exploit every single one of Carson Beck's weaknesses because he has a ton of them.
Yeah.
He has absolutely a ton of them. And I do think Bain and those guys are fantastic on the defensive line on Miami. But I,
Hmm.
I think we sleep on Indiana's defense too. Like everyone's like Mendoza, Becker, like all these guys. But what about their defense? They're fantastic.
Yeah.
They let up like the seventh fewest points in the NCAA. Like they're a force. And
Yeah.
I think they win by 10. I think this is the right spread. I don't think the game being in Coral Gables really means anything.
No.
Like no diehard fans are going to this game because it costs $10,000 just to get in.
Yeah.
Like no
No,
diehard
exactly.
fans can afford to get in this game. It's just going to be like OnlyFans influencers and like
Yeah.
guys on yachts and stuff. But
Yeah.
it should be fun. I do think Indiana packs this game still because they
Mhm.
travel well. I don't
They
know
did.
about
Last game they
how
did.
expensive the game is, but yeah, they travel well. So
Yeah. I do
I
also
think
want to be
yeah.
fully transparent on this podcast. I haven't done a lot of research into this game yet. So if you do see me in a few days go out and say, "Oh, I'm riding Miami," because the more I think about it, dude, this is the one spot where
Oh come on,
everyone is just on Indiana. Is there anyone that really is backing Miami in the spot? I haven't seen it
no,
anywhere. This is the one spot where you could
yeah,
say,
no,
okay, Miami comes out and stuns Indiana. I think that would be a crazy narrative. It's not likely, but like, dude, I can see that in the championship. I can see Ruben Bain in that pass rush absolutely getting Mendoza. I'm not gonna
dude,
hate on
stop,
Mendoza anymore. I'm done with that. I'm not gonna hate on it. But like, if that did happen, this would be the championship game to see it. And it's going to suck if it does happen because this is going to be the one week where I don't predict that it will happen. I'm still going to probably ride Indiana, but
bro. You're also a
yeah.
Notre Dame guy. You can't ride Miami right now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Notre Dame guy. Notre Dame has absolutely been cooking in the
By the
transfer
way,
portal, by the way. By the
yeah,
way, just
but
so you know.
also, yes, I agree with that. If Miami wins, you got to give Notre Dame a ring too, right?
100%, dude, because if Miami wins the national championship,
Stop.
Notre Dame would have won it by 20 more points. Notre Dame would have beat A&M at their place. Notre Dame would have beat Ohio State. Notre Dame would be competing with Indiana. Do people forget that Notre Dame dog walked Indiana last year? Do people love to forget that Notre Dame was in the national championship last season? Does everyone not
We gotta
remember
wrap
that?
this up. We gotta wrap this up.
Dude, Marcus Freeman is coming back next year for vengeance. You should see. I hope you've been paying attention to the transfer portal. I'm gonna have to do another video on that, long form video, because they have been cooking. They got two studs from Ohio State, two young studs from Ohio State at the receiver. CJ Carr is leading Heisman odds next year. CJ Carr is leading Heisman odds. They're gonna be absolute. They're gonna absolutely tear it up. So
Yeah, I'm
there
with
we
you.
go. There
I'm
we
with you.
go. Yeah, go Irish,
Let's
baby.
go.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. But yeah, why don't we get into Oregon real quick before we wrap things up? So, as we saw,
Crazy.
Dante Moore is back at
Crazy.
Oregon, even after Dylan Raiola just transferred there. What's going on here?
I'm gonna tell you my initial thoughts. I think Oregon assumed Dante Moore was going to the draft, which by the way, we said on the pod he wasn't going to because there's no point to. Because why
Yeah,
would you go to the Jets when you can make the same money drinking, partying, and kicking ass in college? When that's the same amount of money you're gonna make there as your rookie contract, when you can just go play for a good team next year. Like
yeah,
it's a no-brainer, absolutely no-brainer. Dante Moore has the talent to stay and then get drafted again. Absolutely no-brainer. I think Quinn Ewers should have done it last year when Notre Dame was going to give him 10 million, whatever. I don't want to talk about that.
yeah,
I think they told Raiola like, "Hey, he's going to the draft," and they probably hinted that it was a for sure thing when they thought it was, but it
100%,
wasn't.
100%.
Raiola, will he stay? Will he not? He has too big of an ego to stay. He's
Yeah,
not going to stay. He's out, like out. Why would he waste a year where he could have game film
yeah,
and boost his stock? Like
100%. It's
ego
it's like a
aside, he should leave. Like there's no reason to stay. And they're like,
it's like
"Oh,
a
build
yeah.
behind Monte Moore, learn so much." Fuck it. No, fuck that.
Mhm. It's a
Like you can
lose
go
lose
make
for both sides.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because if you're
I
Dante Moore,
yeah.
if you slip up whatever, if you slip up any bit, if you have a couple bad game stretch, you got a 5-star quarterback breathing down your neck, ready to
No, I
go in
don't think
there.
it's like that though.
Is
I
it
don't
though?
think
Oregon's trying to win games. They're trying to compete for the Natty.
I think there's no way Raiola takes a spot. Like I don't think there's a chance in hell. Like
I
I know
disagree with that. There's definitely
I
a
don't think you're
chance.
crazy. I don't think you're crazy for saying that, but then it makes you wonder like does Oregon are they dying to have him back now? Like I wonder if Dan Lanning was like there's no way he was like, "Oh, please come back."
No, you take Dante Moore over Dylan Raiola, 100%,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%.
But
Yeah,
he's in handcuffs with Raiola. So in the back of his mind, he's like, "Oh, it's not the worst thing if he didn't come back right now." Like
yeah,
he's not
yeah.
dying for Dante
He
Moore
put,
to come back because it causes all that trouble.
yeah,
So it's like now that he is back, it's like definitely all Dante Moore wanting to be back. Like because
yeah.
nobody was begging him after they go and make that move. That's
Right,
kind of what I mean. So
right.
it's he
If
really wants to stay back because I don't think he wants to be a Jet. Not that the Jets would 1,000% take him because I don't think they would have. I think they were going to wait a little bit and take Ty Simpson or Chambliss.
mhm,
But now they're going to do that anyways, and I think this hurts the Jets even more because I think that the number two overall pick as a whole with Dante Moore in the draft is so much more valuable because now it's trade value. So now
yeah,
that value of the pick to trade down would be worth so much more because the team would want to trade up to get Dante Moore.
yeah,
Now it's like the number two quarterback's Ty Simpson,
yeah,
which is like plummets the value. It fucks the Jets even more. Not only do they not get Dante Moore, but they also lose the value of the second overall pick.
yeah.
So
Jets got to be like
they got fucked.
some fans. Obviously, the fans that don't like Dante Moore are probably excited about it though, because then they're not
Yeah,
forcing to take him.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I agree with you. I think that yeah, because their pick loses value. I mean, who is like if you do some mock drafts right now, who would they're not taking Ty Simpson at 2 overall.
No,
I mean, I think they
I
pass on a
don't.
quarterback and they go for free agency, right? Like I think they try to get
I
like
a
Malik
Kyler
Willis.
Murray or
I don't think
Malik
Kyler Murray gets
Willis.
traded. Do you? I mean, they
No, I
just
don't
fired
know.
Jonathan.
Look
It
at
depends on what
Jacoby
coach they hire.
Brissett. Yes, absolutely.
Depends on what coach they hire. I mean, if they were to hire like a Mike McDaniel, I don't know who they've been
Yeah.
interviewing.
He's fun. He's
Um,
fun. I don't know, but I saw Harbaugh left New York today. Left the
yeah,
Giants
he's the
facility
Giants'
without a
favorite, right?
contract. No, without a contract. He
Oh,
left
really?
without anything. So I don't know if that necessarily means he's not going or he's weighing other options as well, but he
Yeah,
left without anything. But do you think
yeah.
Kyler Murray, all right, I know your answer already, but do you think Kyler Murray already played his best ball? Like he's done?
That's so tough to say. I don't think you can say that. I don't think you could say that because he
Yeah.
hasn't won a playoff game yet. Um,
Hmm.
he's been in the league what six years. So like, I think that if he stayed
When did he
healthy
get
this whole
drafted?
season,
2019,
yeah,
7 maybe?
yeah, I
I
think
guess
that
6, yeah.
if he stayed healthy this season, the first like 3 games he played, I thought he was playing the best ball of his career as a passer. I really did, and I think that some of the offensive scheme with Drew Petzing was holding them back. Did the Cardinals fire Drew Petzing yet? I forget.
No.
Yeah, if he's still there, like like I said, it all depends on what head coach they bring in. It depends on if the head coach they bring in really likes Kyler or if they're looking for the draft. And I think like going back to Dante Moore, it's like okay, you don't want to get drafted by the Jets. That's why you come back. Who you really want to get drafted to then? Do you want to get drafted by Cleveland? Do you want to get like maybe he's hoping that
Yeah.
Arizona is going to be a quarterback and maybe they can take him next year. Like I don't.
Cleveland's not going for a quarterback though.
They might, dude. If I mean if they
Dude, they've
roll
got like
with
10. They've got like 10 quarterbacks right now that are all
I
like
mean, if they roll with
mediocre.
Shador and Dylan Gabriel next year again, and neither of those two really pop off, they will be. I mean,
Yeah.
it
I
kind
think
of
the Jets
depends,
should tank, get Arch. But
dude. Arch, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'm excited to see because the QB class next year is going to be pretty loaded. I mean, the QB class this year is supposed to be pretty loaded. So actually, who knows, dude? A lot can happen in a year. Like Garrett Nussmeier is supposed to be number 1 overall this year, and now he's what a
Yeah,
sixth round
right.
pick. Like,
Yeah, it's like
you
do you take
never,
a shot on him? Like
you
he was
could. I
obviously
mean,
playing hurt. He was obviously playing hurt this year. Like we had
yeah,
Klubnik and Nussmeier in our as our Heisman's
yeah,
on. That was probably Ep one.
yeah.
Like
No, he did. I mean, geez,
I gotta go
dude.
back and watch those old episodes. Like I was all
Mhm.
over Nussmeier. I thought Lenore Sellers. We were calling him
Yeah.
Diet Cam Newton, bro. Now he's just a
Yeah.
bum.
Dude, you never know about him too next year in the draft. I mean, if he is another
He
good
could have a
year.
sick year. Never
Yeah.
know.
Maybe South Carolina's back. We'll see. But
We
it's
will
exciting
see.
times. A lot of offseason
Yes,
talk to
sir.
get into about that. But yeah, I think we wrap it up there. I thought it was a pretty
Mm-hmm.
good talk. So, yeah, like you said, guys, a lot of action-packed weekend of football. Hope you guys enjoyed as much as we do. Um,
Yes, sir.
yeah, sounds good. So
That's it.
appreciate you
As
guys listening.
always, you don't
Yes,
know
sir.
ball, but we do.